When the PSP launched in March 2005, the first real portable war officially began. In the past, Nintendo had some serious competitors with the likes of Sega, but nothing that would compare to what Sony tried to achieve with the PSP. They took on Nintendo directly, and while the DS would trounce the PSP, Sony should be proud of the fact that their portable system managed to sell over 80 million units worldwide. Lumines, as I pronounce it, was one of the launch titles that Sony didn't realize would be as big as it became. Tetsuya Mizuguchi, the man behind such fantastic games such as Rez and Space Channel 5, created the de facto PSP launch title with ridiculously simple gameplay and one hell of a killer fusion of music and graphics. At its core, Lumines is a simple puzzle game. A small square falls from the top of the screen and is made up of 4 individual blocks, 2x2. There are 2 different colors of blocks, and the objective is to get 2x2 squares of all the same color. Sounds simple enough, right? While there are no shapes like in Tetris, the difficulty is that each of the squares that fall are made up of 2 different color combinations. In the beginning, it's fairly easy to set up some amazing combos or chains, but that quickly changes as the speed increases. Where skill comes in is in linking more and more of the same colored blocks to an existing 2x2 square. The way the blocks disappear is by a moving bar that goes from left to right on the screen. If you have a nice 2x2 square of the same color all ready to disappear, you have to wait until the bar hits these blocks, thereby making them disappear. It's here where you can link as many other blocks to the existing chain as possible. There's also a magical jewel that can link to existing blocks or chains in order to remove all light-colored blocks from the playing field. The overall objective of the single-player game is to unlock as many new skins as possible. A skin is essentially a new song and background. Lumines is a beautiful fusion of gameplay, graphics, and sound effects, so let's dig a little bit into that relationship. The clear bar moves at varying speeds, which are directly related to the speed of the song that is playing. On top of that, everything you do makes sound that actually fits into the overall music playing. It helps bridge the gameplay and music together in a really unique way. There's one nuance that kind of annoyed me when I originally played Lumines, and that's the fact that new skins are unlocked by achieving certain scores. Sure, this sounds like a simple concept on paper, but it can take over 2 hours or more of gameplay in order to unlock some of the later skins. For a portable title, that's just asking way too much. I know you can put the PSP into sleep mode, but really, there should have been some other workaround to this. Outside of the core single-player mode, there's also a versus mode. The game works exactly the same as the single-player mode, except that players are competing against one another. You're trying to fill up the other's screen, and by gaining the greatest amount of chain combos possible to make that happen. Other than the multiplayer mode, there are a few other modes like the CPU versus mode and the puzzle mode. The computer versus mode is exactly like the multiplayer mode, except that instead of fighting a real-life person, you're taking on the computer. The final gameplay mode is that of the puzzle mode, where you're challenged to create random shapes out of the blocks. The graphics in Lumines are as basic as the core gameplay is. The thing is that it's all about the way the graphics are implemented. While Lumines certainly didn't push the PSP to its limits or anything like that, it has some fantastic visual effects, great light effects, and an overall shine that was really lacking from most of the other PSP launch titles. Music and sound effects are naturally excellent and sound amazing with a good headset or earphones. For a PSP launch title, it's rather ironic that the most simplistic game available was also the best of the bunch. Let's end with this one statement. If you own a PSP, make sure you purchase this game, as it's one of the best games in the entire PSP library. And that's saying something, as there are some truly remarkable games available on this platform.